Welcome back to the Wisdom Hub. Let's get real. You've tried everything, haven't you? It was tough, wasn't it? You've set aside your life, pushed your priorities away, all just for them. You went above and beyond to make them see your value, hoping they'd miss you or understand how much you care. You were always there, always on standby, always willing to help at a moment's notice. You were kind. You were the one who'd step up without hesitation, never the one to say no. But what did they do in return? They treated you like a doormat, walked over you as if you didn't matter. They rejected you, disrespected you, and took all the care you showed them and tossed it away like yesterday's news. You tried to talk it out, tried reasoning. Maybe you even begged, hoping for a shred of acknowledgement. You were nice, kind, and gave them everything you could. Yet you felt the sting of rejection again and again. The harder you tried, the more invisible you became. They were too blind to see your worth, too comfortable with your presence, and too careless with your heart. Nothing worked. Not a single thing. You've run out of options, except for one last move. The strongest one you can make. Silence. So you faded from their view. No more texts lighting up their phone. No more calls, no more check-ins. It's as if you vanished. And that silence, my friend, will do more for you than any words ever could. The person they treated like a doormat, the one they thought would always be there, has disappeared. And your silence. It's suffocating them. Sure, in public, they might act as if nothing's changed, putting on a brave face. But behind closed doors, they're unraveling. Every quiet moment, every empty notification is eating away at them. They want to reach out, to cry, but pride holds them back in that heavy silence. Now they're haunted, replaying every moment they took you for granted, realizing they lost something irreplaceable. In public, they wear a smile. In private, it's all darkness and the crushing weight of regret. Right now, as they regret their choices but hide it behind a mask, stay strong. Make them feel that regret. So, affirm with me, everyone, silence is my superpower. Say it with conviction. Silence is my superpower. Trust me, it truly is. Stick around, and I'll show you how powerful this silence can be. But before we dive in, here's a little task for you. Hit that like button if our lessons are making a difference, and drop today's affirmation in the comments. Silence is my superpower. This matters, folks, because as our wise friend Epictetus once said, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So don't shy away from this moment. This is your life, and you hold this power. Declare it loud and clear. Silence is my superpower. Let's make it yours. And stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how this silence shifts everything, how it turns the tables, leaves them wondering, and forces them to confront the emptiness without you there to boost their ego. Ready to see how silence can be your loudest comeback? Let's dive in. Before we get into what they're feeling now that you've chosen silence, let's address something else that might be troubling you. I know you still care about them, even after they disrespected you and pushed you away like an old habit they thought they could forget. Because of that love, you may fear that if you stay silent too long, they'll just move on. I can see some of you nodding, thinking, what if they forget about me? That fear can feel like it's tearing you up inside. But here's what I want you to know. They're not going anywhere. You might see them pretending it's all fine, acting like your silence doesn't bother them. But believe me, that's just a front. Behind that mask, a storm is brewing. They're feeling your absence deeply, even if they act like they don't care. If they can't recognize your worth now in this silence, let's be honest, they probably never valued it to begin with. And do you really want someone who only sees your value when they're close to losing you? You deserve someone who appreciates you without constant reminders. This silence is a test, a moment of clarity, for both them and you. If they can't feel your worth even in your absence, it's clear they don't deserve your love, attention, or energy. And that's a powerful truth to accept. So hold strong, and let's dive into what's next for them. Trust me, they're already feeling the impact. And if you haven't hit that like button yet, now's a great time. It helps bring this video to others who need guidance, ready to dive into their world of regret and realization. Let's go. Number 1. The realization that you're gone. Let's start at the first stage of their experience, realizing you're truly gone. Don't underestimate this moment. They may still act like everything is fine, keeping up appearances, but deep down, they feel your absence. The comfort they once had from you, the support, the warmth, has vanished. Now they can't just reach out and have you there at their convenience. But this is where most of us fall into a trap. We start to feel sympathy or second-guess our decision. Thoughts like, maybe I should check in, or maybe I should remind them I'm here, creep in. Many end up giving in, breaking the silence they worked so hard to create. But every time you break the silence, you weaken the impact of your absence. This isn't the time to reach out. Instead, let them sit with the emptiness and their own thoughts. Another mistake we make is sitting around, waiting for them to realize what they've lost. But silence doesn't mean pressing pause on your life. Silence is about taking all that energy you once gave them and pouring it back into yourself. Use this time to grow, to become stronger and more resilient. This is a chance to transform and move forward, not to stay stuck waiting. So what if they love you? Your silence gives them space to realize it. Think of it like planting a seed in the dark. If there's real care, it will grow. If they truly value you, they'll feel your absence, and that's when real change can happen. And if they don't care, then it's better to know now. Silence can shine a light on what's genuine and what's not. You deserve someone who values you without constant reminders. As the Stoic Seneca said, if you want a true friend, break away from those who wouldn't grieve to lose you. In this moment, they're either feeling the weight of your absence or they're moving on. And either way, you win, because you gain clarity about who's worth your time and love. Picture yourself standing tall, looking forward, not looking back. You're creating a life filled with growth, one that isn't defined by their attention. If they're the right person, they'll catch up. If not, you're better off without them. Affirm with me, I choose myself over their attention. My silence is my strength, and my path is my own. Say it, write it down, make it yours. Stick with me. This journey is just beginning, and answers will come soon enough. Silence reveals truth over time, showing who truly values you. Number 2, the Mask of Indifference. Next, they'll put on the mask of indifference. They may act like they're unaffected, posting on social media, laughing with friends, even claiming they're better off. But this is a facade, a defense mechanism, and it can make you question whether they care at all. But remember, acting indifferent doesn't mean they're unaffected. This mask is a way for them to keep control, like a poker face. They want you to believe your silence hasn't fazed them, hoping you'll reach out first. Many fall into this trap, thinking if they're unaffected, maybe reaching out is the right move. But this is when your silence is working. It's just beginning to chip away at their wall. As Epictetus said, circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him. Your absence is revealing something they're not ready to face, so they wear a mask of indifference. This mask is like a shield to block out their own feelings, and they're hoping you'll break first. It's like a tug of war where they're digging in their heels, but they're starting to lose their balance. They're silently panicking, praying you don't see the cracks forming in their front. You must hold your ground. Don't give them control by breaking the silence to check in on them. This moment is about your strength. Don't let their games or masks of indifference sway you. Imagine your silence like a quiet storm, building pressure. They may keep up the act, but inside, they're feeling it. As long as you stay focused on yourself, they're left with their discomfort. If they love you, your silence will stir emotions they can't ignore forever. When they see you growing, it will start to sting. The mask of indifference will feel heavy because they can't suppress real feelings forever. But if they don't care, then you know where you stand. As Marcus Aurelius said, it is not events that disturb people, but their judgments concerning them. If they're truly unaffected by your absence, that's your answer. Affirm to yourself, I am unshaken by their indifference. I am building my own strength and worth. Say it, believe it, and keep growing. You're stronger than their games. Stick with me. This journey is heating up, and we're getting closer to the truth they can't hide. Number 3. The weight of regret. Now we come to the stage where they can't hide anymore. The weight of regret. At first they tried to act unaffected, but now your silence hits them like a wave. They start seeing the emptiness and realizing what they took for granted. It's as if they're standing at the edge of a cliff, looking back over every moment they had with you, feeling haunted by the choices they made. They see now that each thoughtless action, each moment of disrespect, is costing them something they didn't think they'd lose. They're replaying every moment, each missed chance to treat you right, feeling the loss. As Seneca said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Now they're feeling the end of what they had with you. This isn't just loneliness, it's the sting of knowing they had something real and let it slip away. Imagine regret as a shadow always close behind them, growing the longer you stay silent. They may still try to keep up appearances, but this regret becomes a storm inside them, something they can't push away. They can't just undo it now. The ball is in your court. They're no longer in control, and that helplessness is part of their regret. If they truly care, this regret will push them to self-reflect. But if they don't, at least you'll see their true colors. Remind yourself, I am worth more than their regret. I choose myself over anyone's temporary feelings. Say it out loud and let it sink in. Their regret is theirs to carry. Your strength is yours to grow. Stay with me because this journey isn't over. Regret is only the beginning of what they'll feel as they confront the reality of losing someone they never expected would leave. Hold tight. More truth is on the way. Number 4. Replacing you with someone new. At this point, they're beginning to feel the impact of your absence, but rather than reflecting on their actions, they may choose a shortcut. They start searching for someone new, hoping to replace the space you left. It might sting to see them jump into a new relationship or surround themselves with others, as if they could replace the connection you shared. But don't be deceived. This isn't a real solution. It's more like putting a bandage on a deep wound. By being with someone new, they're hoping to avoid facing their regret, emptiness, and the reality that you're no longer there. This isn't about moving forward, it's about distraction. They're using someone else to mask the void left by your absence. It might look like they're happy, but remember, new people won't fix what they're running from. This attempt to replace you is often a coping mechanism, not a genuine connection. When we lose something valuable, the first impulse is sometimes to fill the space without any real growth or change. It's like trying to replace a broken puzzle piece with something that doesn't fit, hoping it will be enough. Deep down, they know it's not the answer. As philosopher Alain de Botton put it, people only get truly interesting when they start to rattle the bars of their cages. Instead of breaking free, they're choosing distraction, staying in their comfort zone, hoping a new face will hide the truth. They may post on social media or flaunt their new connections, trying to convince themselves and others they've moved on. But you can't replace something real with something temporary. They're just filling a gap that only self-reflection can truly heal. Watching them with someone new might make you question your worth or wonder if they ever cared. But remember, this isn't about you. It's about their inability to sit with discomfort. A new connection might look like a replacement, but it's often just a placeholder. If they can't realize this, it tells you something important. They were never capable of fully valuing you. Real connections aren't replaceable. If they're seeking new people, it shows they fear silence more than they're committed to personal growth. Number 5. When their world begins to fall apart. We've reached the stage where their world truly starts to unravel. At first they tried to act unaffected, masking their indifference. Then they sought distractions with new people. But now there's no escaping it. Their life is beginning to come undone. When you were their constant, their safety net, even if they didn't realize it. You brought a stability they depended on. Without that foundation, cracks are starting to show. They might have thought life would go on as usual, but things are slowly falling apart. It's like trying to hold water in their hands. The harder they try, the more it slips away. As the Stoic Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." They're starting to feel the weight of their own wants, realizing that no temporary fling or distraction can replace the stability you brought. This isn't just about losing you, it's about losing the balance you provided. Imagine it like a house of cards. They've stacked up distractions and avoidance tactics, but without you as the foundation, it's collapsing. They're beginning to feel the consequences, and it's weighing on them. Everyday things that once felt easy are now overwhelming, and they can't quite understand why. But you know the reason. You grounded them, and now they're left feeling adrift. Friendships may feel shallow, work lacks meaning, and they're missing the inner calm your presence brought. This stage often brings a loss that can't be shaken off, forcing them to face a hard truth. Number 6. Struggling in the silent void. By now, distractions are fading. New connections feel empty, and they're left in silence. A silence that's more like a void, a space where they once felt your presence. In this silent void, they start to struggle. Gone are the masks and quick fixes. They're alone with the echoes of their choices and the quiet reminder of what they've lost. It's a hollow ache that words can't quite capture, an emptiness they can't fill. They thought the discomfort would fade, but this silence is constant. Picture it as wandering lost in a desert, searching for relief, but finding only the realization that they lost something irreplaceable. As philosopher Lao Tzu said, "Silence is a source of great strength." Your silence has become their weakness, a haunting absence reminding them of what they had and let slip away. The void is a unique pain, not loud, but persistent. They feel it in the mornings, during the day, and at night, staring at an empty ceiling. There's no reaching out, no reminders of your care, just the space they once took for granted. Number 7. Breaking down or breaking through. Finally, we've arrived at the point where they either break down or break through. After masks, distractions, and attempts to fill the void, they're left to confront the truth. Now, they face a choice. They can confront their loss, take responsibility and grow, or they can stay stuck, letting regret weigh them down indefinitely. Some might spiral, consumed by guilt and loss. What once felt like temporary pain now feels permanent. Their distractions no longer work, and they're left with an empty feeling that won't go away. It's a slow unraveling, but others might choose a different path, seeing your absence as a wake-up call. They realize they have an opportunity to confront what led to this point, and they start to break through instead of breaking down. This is a fork in the road. They can let silence define them, sinking further into regret, or they can let it transform them. Like iron in fire, this moment could shape them into someone better. But growth isn't guaranteed. It requires strength and humility. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your silence was their obstacle, pushing them to either evolve or stay stagnant. And here's the beauty: whichever path they choose, you're no longer tied to it. Their journey, their growth, or lack thereof, is no longer your responsibility. You took the brave step of silence, giving them space to face themselves. Whether they choose growth or not, you've gained something invaluable: clarity, confidence, and independence. This journey wasn't easy, but look at the strength you've found. Now it's time to move forward. If this video spoke to you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others who could benefit from this message. Let's keep spreading the power of self-worth and resilience together. And before you head out, leave a comment below. Are you open to a new relationship, or are you embracing your independence right now? Share where you're at on your journey. Remember, you've come a long way, and this is just the start of the freedom and fulfillment you truly deserve.